Hey there. How's it going, friends? Hope you're having a great day. So a couple days ago, I got on here and shared a quick video about my social media journey and what I learned through the sabbatical that I took from social media. I really do sense that this is a season where I'm to come back on social media, but it's for very specific reasons, and it is with really specific boundaries. I don't want to become the person that I was before, that was truly addicted to Facebook and Instagram. And I don't mind admitting it. I mean, it's humbling to admit that I fell for the trap and the social media addiction, but it's real. And I had to step away. I stepped away for about 3 months. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made. I honestly didn't intend to come back, but God's called me to for this season. So here I am. But I'm back with boundaries in place. Very specific boundaries in place. And I know a lot of you have said, what are the boundaries? How can I have boundaries in this? Because you have felt the same type of pull and unhealthy relationship with social media that I have had. Okay, so here are the boundaries that I am sticking to. First of all, if you're struggling with social media, I recommend a fast, like a break. Get off of it. And I have gotten off of it before for like a week at a time, but honestly, to really cut my affection for it and my drive for social media, I had to get off for an extended period of time. So if you're really wanting to do this and you need a break, I would recommend a few weeks, a month. 3 months is what I did that really helped change my perspective and my appetite for social media. So that's number one, do some type of fast. Okay, number two is I am not getting on social media first thing in the morning. I would easily spend a half an hour laying in bed, waking up, and mindlessly scrolling. And then I would get up and think, well, I didn't have time to exercise today. I didn't have my quiet time today. I didn't have my time with the Lord. Okay, well, but I did get my 30 minutes of Facebook scrolling in first thing. So no more first thing scrolling of Facebook or Instagram. Okay, here's my biggest tip for boundaries on social media. Here's what I'm doing. I have an iPhone. I'm sure you can do this on an Android as well. I set a timer on my phone for 1 hour total of screen time a day. Now, screen time, I chose the apps of Facebook, Instagram, and Telegram. So it combines those 3 apps, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram. Combined total is 1 hour. Not 1 hour each, combined total 1 hour, and I have a limit on my phone for that. And so when I have 5 minutes left, it gives me a warning signal, and then when my time's done, it pops up a screen, says, sorry, your time's done. Now I can override that, but I'm not overriding it. And then those apps are shut down to me for the rest of the day. Now, here's what that limit does. It is so huge. It's a built-in form of accountability. I have to have it. Here's what it does. Well, it decreases my scroll time. Because I know when I'm just sitting there and scrolling, that's eating up my time. And that's not always productive. So if I'm going to scroll, it's going to be intentional, and I'm going to budget the time for it. It just decreases my mindless app time. It's also what I'm doing right now is I'm not getting into the stories. I loved stories before, and I loved making stories, and they're a huge part of communicating and relating in business, so I might get back to them at some point, but right now I'm not watching stories and I'm not creating stories, and that's saving me a lot of time on the app. Okay, the third thing that I did was as soon as I downloaded the apps, I left a ton of groups and pages. I unfollowed hundreds of people on Facebook and Instagram. I really want to be very intentional about who I'm following, who I'm letting get into my space, into my head. And I started, when I first put the apps back on my phone, especially Instagram, and I was scrolling and seeing a lot of the influencers that I had followed, influencers in Young Living and in network marketing and in business and moms and entrepreneurs, however you say that word. Anyway, I started feeling icky again inside. inside and like, ooh, I don't do it like they do, and they've got this and they look so good with this and blah, 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 and it made me feel icky and disgusting. So anybody that makes me feel icky and disgusting, unfollow, 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 unfollow. Because one of my major goals with being on social media, again, is meaningful connections. I want meaningful connections with people. And if there's just someone out there that's an influencer that I admire, but they make me feel ick, they're gone. Gone, gone, gone. So when you are feeling that ick a little bit and feeling the comparison, which we are all prone to feel, leave groups, unfollow pages, unfollow people. It's not worth it. Okay, this is, I think, number 4 or 5. Accountability is really big. So I came on here and I told you all I'm back on social media, but now I've got boundaries. So I know inside, if I'm going and I'm liking a bunch of things and I'm commenting throughout the day, I know people are probably like, hey, I didn't think Shannon was going to be on social media that much. So I've got built-in accountability because I told you all. I've also got accountability with my family, with my husband, and I have a couple of friends who have agreed to message me every once in a while, once a week, once every couple weeks, and say, how are you doing with social media? How are you doing with balancing your time? How is your heart doing with social media? I've got to have accountability. I know that about myself, and so I've put built-in accountability with social media. Constant reevaluation. If I start feeling like it's getting too much and too out of hand and taking over more of my life than I want, it will be adjusted. And finally, my last social media boundary is reminding myself of my purpose and my goals. Why am I on here? What is my calling in this season of life? And how does social media fit into that? And if I'm using it in other ways that aren't as productive, that are making me feel that weight of comparison and not good enough, then I need to readjust and remember why I'm on here in the first place, which is to connect with you, to inspire you, to share my story, to be vulnerable, to hopefully inspire you to make transformative changes in your life and experience the abundant life that God has for us. So that's my social media story. I would love to hear if you've put any boundaries in place, if you've ever done a social media fast, if you're feeling the need to, just where you are on that spectrum. I'd be super curious about. Thanks for listening, friends. Hope to talk to you later.